us on Lula. So let's see. It tells me on Instagram that we're live, but I don't see picture yet.
Okay. All right.
Oh, there we are. Oh,
we're on Instagram.
We are. We're on Instagram and we're on Twitter too.
No way. We're
live on Twitter.
Fucking live?
Twittercast.
Holy shit.
We are. But the ratio is still incorrect on IG.
Yep.
Yeah. So I'm gonna go way over.
Over
to this side. Which side? I gotta go to one side to get seen on
I see what you're doing. Yeah, and I need to go. Which side do I need to go on?
I think it's this side. It's like a 20-second delay.
Yeah, I think I need to go over here.
Here we are. Hey, Instagram.
here's half my face.
Oh my gosh.
There we go.
Hey, Instagram. How's it going?
We're just peeking in. All right.
We're over here. We're watching. We're hanging out. Testing out Instagram and Lula live. We're almost there. People have joined.
Oh, good.
Hello, Elena. All right. So we're live on Twitter. Let me shut my phone off here. We are technically live on Instagram, but not the right ratio.
We'll figure it out.
We'll get there on that.
So
we'll get there. Improvements. Facebook still nothing doing there. Let me just confirm that. Yep, that looks to be the case. Okay, nothing going on Facebook at this point, which is weird because Instagram and Facebook are the same thing. So I don't know why that's the situation, but someone on YouTube is watching as well, or at least
good.
We are live on YouTube as well, so that is good. So we're just doing some tests here. It's Tim and Lance from Crawl Space. Please follow us wherever you're watching this. Follow us on TikTok too. Trying to get that going. What's up? Lee Meller just joined. How's it going, Doc Lee? We're trying out Lula TV, trying to get our shit together with this.
Trying to get our shit together.
It's before our triumphant return. All right. Make sure
we're looking good on YouTube.
We do look good. I mean, if nothing else, we look good.
We look good, and then that's all you can really ask for. I'm gonna try this. I'm gonna see what happens when I do this. I'm gonna go back to my HD ratio.
Okay.
Because I think that might open up the screen a little bit.
Okay, let's try it out. See what happens. Okay, that worked. I don't think it.
So I have a little more room over here for Instagram.
Okay. Let me see here.
There's like a 45-second delay. Yeah, thanks. Doc Murda says you always look good. Okay, so we'll just have to lean. We'll lean to
we'll be over here. We'll just do the whole show over here. Hey, you know what? Lee says talk about Christmas. It's Lance's birthday tomorrow. Can we talk about that?
We could talk about my birthday tomorrow. Yep. Gonna celebrate by going to see Christmas Carol up in the North Shore. North Shore. What is it? North Shore Music Theater.
Right. That'll be awesome.
Oh, I love that show. Show. Fills me with holiday joy. But we have quite a slate of shows coming up for Crawl Space and Missing.
We do,
and that's exciting. We've stockpiled a bunch of shows to get us through the cold winter months, and I think we could probably say we're working closer with our friend Jason from Santa Maybe on editing services. So we should be able to focus more on the shows, the content of the shows, and the guests that we get on. Really opens us up to preparing more for the interviews. So it's really incredible how much just a few hours a week will allow you when you have it.
It's true. It's true. I felt it immediately, just
Yeah.
in how engaged I've been in the interviews that we've recorded versus
Yeah.
how it was even like a month ago. And looking back, I feel like I was just trying to, like, not leave myself editing work. I would rather have a short episode if it means less editing work on the back end. And now I don't have that concern. And it really is like freed me up to be just like more joyous and just be myself in these interviews.
Yeah.
Be
yeah.
like,
Instead of always thinking about it, like, how is this going to cut together?
Yeah. It's nice. It's like freeing.
Yeah. Thank God this person is talking for 25 minutes. That's a good cut. That's a good chunk.
Right.
Good time saving chunk.
Yeah. So that's been great. And we have 2 really compelling episodes of Missing that are coming out soon. One of them just aired yesterday, and one of them is coming out next week. It's on the disappearance of Tika Lewis out of Tacoma, Washington. And that is a tragic story and really sounds like stranger abduction, which is pretty rare. But I don't really see how it's anything else.
Yeah. I mean, it still gets me every time we talk about this, even during during the introduction or even a conversation like this. Anyone who doesn't know who Tika Lewis is, she was only 2.5 years old when she went missing in 1999, and it just kills you when you have to read the stats. Like 3 foot tall, 35 pounds. It's bad enough to read it when it's an adult and you can relate to something on that level, but that's just a baby, it's awful.
Yeah. It's a tragic case out of Tacoma, Washington from January 1999. And there is a sort of a person of interest in the case that we get into a little bit in episode 1 and a little bit more in episode 2. The suspect, I guess, or person of interest is the sightings of a creepy person were consistent, and that sort of led us, at least on the show, and I think most people who look into this case, to feel like it's probably the same person. Some distinguishing characteristics in the description: a pockmarked face, brown hair, facial hair, maybe a beard, maybe a mustache, sometimes a hat. But there were several kidnappings and attempted kidnappings in that area around that same time. And several of the descriptions match a person who was reported to have been seen with Tika just a few minutes before she went missing in a bowling alley in Tacoma, Washington.
And the Grand Am, the Pontiac Grand Am, some people have said maroon, some people have said blue. And that I think, like, if you can identify the make of the car and then the driver, the make and model, and then the driver matching the description that everybody else had, I think the maroon and blue is sort of interchangeable. I think you could probably see a maroon car or a blue car, and your mind could misrepresent that later on. It's not like white and black. The contrast difference between the two isn't that drastic.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right.
Walsh said, "You just described yourself, Tim," and I just laughed out loud.
How did I I guess I did.
right down to the Pontiac Grand Am.
Thank you, Walsh.
Yeah.
Emily Bastardi
is watching this. Emily.
Hello, Emily. What's going on? And Sarah Turney in there. How's it going? This is actually hilarious that we're like hanging out on the edge
leaning
of the frame.
It looks amazing on Zoom. It looks so odd.
I hope people enjoy that.
I'm almost expecting my head to creep into your frame.
It's also weird is like it's the opposite side for us. I'm like hanging way over here and you're on the other side, which I guess it fills out the frame nicely.
Oh, you can flip it on Zoom.
Oh, can I? Oh, well,
yeah, you can just drag the video. It's a great feature.
Our crawl space episode this week is quite an episode as well. We had an incredible conversation with an author named Jimmy Lee Shreve, otherwise known as Dr. Snake Voodoo. You can follow him on Twitter at Dr. Snake Voodoo, doctor with a K. Very interesting guy, Lance.
Yeah, and his website, I think I did the excuse me, the website wrong during the intro. His website is Jimmy Lee Shreve, all one word. Shreve is spelled SHREEVE.me. That's where you can get his information. The first one that pops up is .net, but I think he's abandoned that website. But it's .me. If you Google him, you just scroll down a little bit and you'll find him. But what an incredible conversation. And we really need to have him back on, because the book that he wrote, Human Sacrifice, is so fascinating. And it was just like skimming the surface with the conversation we had recently. He could fill up hours of stories. He's written so many other books, all within that occult type genre. But some examples of the human sacrificing, modern day human sacrificing. I mean, we're not talking medieval times. We're talking modern day religious groups, drug runners, like different organizations having completely reasonable, logical in their own heads, their reasons for sacrificing.
Right. Yeah. And, you're right. His book is written in great detail, and we really didn't go into too much detail of the book. We sort of had a big picture conversation about the idea and sort of the line between human sacrifice or murder and mental illness, right? Like, so if someone thinks they're sacrificing for something, like, what's the difference between actually, calling that human sacrifice and calling that like a mentally ill person who killed somebody? So I thought that was pretty interesting. But yeah, it would be great to have him back on to sort of delve into some of the details of those certain cases. People really liked the episode. We got one email from a friend who said that she thought she was drunk while listening to it. And I thought that was a great compliment. Jimmy Lee Shreve, complicated and fascinating and fun guy to talk to. Yeah.
Yeah. What a great way to describe it. I thought I was drunk. Was I drunk while I was listening to this? And again, that was just the tip of the iceberg. Like, yeah. If we had asked him to get into detail, then you're going to get some details. Like, it's going to get deep.
Right. Yeah, that'll be fun. Yeah, we should have him back at some point this winter and get further into that. And you mentioned Jason and Santa Maybe a little earlier. Jason, our coworker, he has produced a new podcast called Santa Maybe a Criminal, and you should check it out. It's like a true crime. It's like a crime comedy show. It's not true in the sense that Crawl Space or Missing is, but it sort of follows the same template, if you will, and looks at Santa Claus who may be a criminal.
It's true in the sense that it's a podcast about crime, so we can at least say that.
That's right.
And it does parody a lot of the tropes and different elements that go into true crime podcasting without being insulting. He does a very good job at creating a parody as a form of, I guess, paying homage to the genre, and knowing that a lot of us listening will laugh at it. I feel like it's a lot like Done Disappeared with John David Booter. When you hear the reference and you know that it's you or somebody that you're affiliated with, it's not mean, it's hilarious. And Jason does a great job with that. He also assembled an amazing cast of characters for the first couple of episodes.
Some familiar voices to our Crawl Space network. Some doctors are on there. It's a lot of fun, and it's only 2 episodes. 2 episodes out so far. You're laughing at Jeff's comment.
Yeah, Mr. Pallone asks, "Are you guys leading into each other?" Yeah, because this is the frame that is Instagram. So deal with it anywhere else.
Jeff, we're working on the ratio on Instagram. Give us a break. We're leaning on one half of the frame in on the other platforms, Twitter and YouTube, that we're live on right now. It's quite comical. And we know, Jeff, we know it looks silly. We know.
We understand.
Thank you.
I got to put something over here when we do this again. I need hold on. I can probably
Cardboard
find
cutout.
or like a news cutout, like a news background.
Dutch angle. Jeff says
Like
do a Dutch angle. Yeah. I mean, hey, we're trying our best here. He says, is Joshua F. Leonard shooting this?
No, there'd be whip pans if Joshua F. Leonard was filming. So this is me on News 8, WTNH, News 8. I could do the weather.
That's right. Oh my God,
Yeah.
that's great. Let's do that. Crawl space with the weather in Wormtown. How's the worm today?
weather. Yeah.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We're just really hanging out, trying to work out the kinks on a new live show that we're planning to begin in early January. We're going to be streaming to Instagram, to Facebook, to YouTube, to Twitter. Right now, we got two of them checked off like nobody's business. YouTube and Twitter,
It's no one's
easy.
business.
Easy. Instagram, we're still working on the ratio. Facebook, we're not. Something's going on there. We got to figure that out. And then TikTok. That's the other part of this. The other finger here is TikTok. We need more followers on TikTok before we can go live on TikTok. So we need to get to
15,000 followers.
Yeah, we need 15 million followers on TikTok. So please give us a follow on TikTok. Help us get to a point where we can do a live show on 5 different social media platforms at once, which is the goal here with these shows.
Right. And 5 different platforms at once means that you can take your tablet, your iPad, your laptop, your desktop, and your phone, and you can put them all on each platform, and you can watch us 5 different ways simultaneously.
I can't wait. Whoever does that first gets a prize.
Gets a prize.
To be determined. Yep. A prize to be determined. Prizes in the mail, actually.
And I want to give a shout out to Get Vocal. We did Get Vocal. So the new show that we're coming up with is an alternative to our True Crime Thursday night with Get Vocal. We hung with them for over a year and a half, maybe even 2 years almost at that point. But, let's say a year and a half. Great platform, great ideas, great motivation and determination. I just think that they couldn't figure out that these few final glitches, and they maybe one day they'll rise from the ashes and it'll be a wonderful platform, the one that they actually intended to have. But it was honestly doing a little bit more. It was more of a headache than it had to be, and it wasn't getting over all of those hurdles really affected the quality of the show, really affected the content. Like we couldn't have certain guests on that were important because we knew the audio wasn't going to work out. So we had to
and it became sort of a guessing game, which platforms we were going to end up streaming to after we hit the button. And then if you want to relaunch it, you could, but you got to start a new room. So everyone in there has to jump to a new room, and then you get a new link. So it did become a headache, and it became one of those things that brought on Parley a little more anxiety than I guess it was worth. But here we are, and really the biggest reason and the biggest thing we're trying to achieve here is streaming to as many platforms as possible. And I know Twitter changed up the way they stream things with Periscope going away. And, Facebook is still a headache for us even as we speak. So we're trying to figure out how to stream from Lula to Facebook. So it's a lot of hurdles to get over. Once again, followers on TikTok is one of the hurdles that we have to get over before we can stream live to TikTok. So if you can, please follow us there. That would really help. And we'll check all these boxes by the time we go live on January 4th.
And we've decided to retitle the True Crime Thursday to Crime and Culture Night. Crime and Culture? Crime and Culture?
Crime and Culture Show, Crime and Culture Night. Sure.
Yeah.
Both of them. Both of them.
Both of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crime and Culture. Join us. Crime and Culture Live, Tuesday night, January 4th, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We will have some pop-up shows like this one leading up to it, because we do want to work out all of the kinks and iron out the wrinkles and, insert another cliche here. But we want to make sure that we give you the best content and streaming to as many platforms as possible. This one's probably going to be bi-weekly or bi-monthly, however you want to say that, but we'll say twice a month, every other Tuesday, starting on January 4th. That way we can have time in between to prep, get a great guest on, figure out whether or not the guest is going to have to lean in to this as well.
Well, I think that's one of the technical hurdles we have to jump over, like Jackie Joyner Kersey, Lance.
Second day in a row with a Jackie Joyner Kersey reference.
It's a callback today.
Callback.
But yeah, I mean, we that's one of the things we should get down. Also, we're doing this from Zoom, which is really convenient, and we're streaming through lula.tv, which is cool, and we can see all the comments. So really, ultimately, we're trying to make it more convenient for you too, the listener, to watch this wherever you want, whether it's Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube, wherever you at, Facebook,
Meta.
Exactly. It's going to be so meta. So just hang in there. We're going to be doing more of these test shows soon. Follow us on TikTok, everybody. That's very important. And check out our latest episodes. What are you waiting for?
Should we give a little teaser about some upcoming episodes?
Please. Yeah, let's do it.
Upcoming
Pop
episodes?
Open the Cali. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure.
Anyone out there who has not seen this incredible indie movie called Pizzagate, the Pizzagate Massacre, please go to Amazon or Vudu or YouTube. You can rent this movie or you can buy it. The Pizzagate Massacre by John Valley. We're having him on. We just interviewed him at the beginning of the week. That episode is going to be coming out in the next few weeks. But in the meantime, do yourself a favor. Check out this viciously funny dark comedy / horror / adventure movie. Buddy adventure movie. Yeah,
modern, almost like a modern Western too. I could see where it gets a little bit of that. But it's definitely a grindhouse type picture, a lot of fun. If I had to call it one thing, I'd probably call it a dark comedy. Which is my favorite kind of movie, personally.
Oh, I love it. You can pull off a dark comedy, The Burbs, something like that.
Right.
Brilliant. But yeah, check that's an episode coming up. It looks like Jeff Pallone wants a plug for his podcast about jujitsu called Thanks for Rolling. So listen to Thanks for Rolling on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you get your podcasts. It's a show that features the ins and outs and the lives and the conversations and I guess the everyone who joins a gym for Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu has a reason why, and they explore that.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah,
that's great. Very cool. Our good friend Jeff. That's great. It's called Thanks for Rolling. Okay, cool. Yeah, check that out. On Crawl Space next week, Lance, we have a real interesting guest named Catherine Jones, who spent some time in prison because she was incarcerated for murder at a very young age, at 13.
Yeah, youngest, I think, at the time, and maybe to this day, the youngest female incarcerated. And it's tragic, but she has risen. She is, I don't have her title in front of me because I want to make sure I get it right, but she is the executive director of for the campaign for the fair sentencing of youth, the executive director of something for the campaign for the fair sentencing of youth. Obviously a perfect job for her, having gone through 17 years in prison, starting at age 13. What gets lost, and we could have many interviews with her, what gets lost is that her brother was, I think, 12 years old, who was considered an accomplice and went to prison as well. And he's also out. But she's become like the spokesperson for this cause. Really amazing human being who could have gone the other way, came out of prison and decided that she was going to be a champion for the cause but
Right.
easily could have gone the other way.
Right. Yeah. Fascinating story. And yeah, she's an incredible advocate now. And yeah, I don't know. It was kind of incredible talking to her. It was almost like an emotional experience speaking with her.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So that's coming next week.
Never mind. I was going to make a Catherine Zeta-Jones joke, but I'm not.
I didn't even put that together. And then the following week, that would be holiday week, I guess, Christmas week. December 22nd is the aforementioned Jason from Santa May Be a Criminal that is airing on Crawlspace on Wednesday, the 22nd. And then we have a bonus episode that week as well with our friend Elizabeth Breck, who is an author who wrote a couple of books, mystery books, fiction books, some real stories, some factual things she pulled from real life, including me and you, Lance, for her first book.
Yeah, we were the inspiration, dare I say, for her first book, Anonymous. And her second book doesn't feature us, but that's only because she wanted to build up the anticipation for the foot chase that's going to be happening in her third book. But her second book is called Double Take, and it's part of the Madison Kelly series. Madison Kelly is a private detective, much like Elizabeth Breck.
That's right. Yeah, she's a real life PI as well, turned fiction writer, mystery author, and this is her second book in a series, the Madison Kelly series. You can check her books out wherever you get books. And yeah, Lance and I were characters in the first one, which was pretty surreal, I have to say, to read the first time, because the character Madison Kelly is listening to our podcast, Crawlspace, and like is sort of interacting with us about a case that she's working on that we've covered. So it's really cool to read. It's a really cool angle for a book too. And obviously really, I'm biased, a little biased, because I'm in one of the characters in the book.
But no, Elizabeth has promised us we're going to get our foot chase / car chase / train chase. And then we're going to have a backdraft type ending. Yeah. Yep. Yeah,
there's got to be some kind of rooftop in it for me. Maybe like a rooftop chase that leads to a leap off the roof and onto a moving train, that kind of thing, to either escape or maybe
get the bad guy.
In some way the bad guy. That's maybe the end, or maybe the fight just the chase continues. Maybe we all end up on that train from the rooftop chase. But either way, it's happening in part 3 of the Madison Kelly series. Check out Elizabeth Breck's writing. It's excellent.
And the more we're talking about it, the more I think it's going to continue to part 4. I think what's going to happen is this train chase is just going to continue to part 4. And depending if it has legs, we're going to go into part 5. It's a long train.
She's going to say to be continued. She'll be like, and the train with Tim Lance and the bad guy went into and Madison Kelly went under a tunnel, and to be continued.
Yeah.
It's going to end.
Yeah. Somehow she'll manage 500 pages.
100 just the train chase.
Yeah. I can't wait for the movie adaptation.
So that'll be a lot of fun. That episode coming, I think, the day after Christmas on the Crawlspace feed. We also have another wonderful advocate named Carly Bodine. She's coming on December 23rd on the Missing podcast to discuss the unsolved murder of her mom, Karen Bodine, from Washington State. And that is a tragic story as well. She's a pretty powerful advocate.
Yeah. It's impressive what she's done by herself, right? Like putting up those billboards, knocking on doors, going everywhere with the flyer that features her mother, and her relentless pursuit for justice for her mom, which includes placing those billboards right next to the person of interest's house and knocking on his door, giving him these flyers. Just absolutely a force. I know that we say that a lot when we have guests on, that they're like, an amazing human being, but they are. Like, this is another one that we can put on the list of, super advocates.
Yeah. And we're lucky, we say that because it's true, as you noted. And, we're lucky we get to speak to so many people who are really doing amazing things in their lives and careers. It's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool position to be in, where we get to, just kind of shoot the S and meet interesting people doing interesting things. So.
Yep. And lastly, my last one, speaking of interesting people doing interesting things, we speak with Andrea Gunraj, who is affiliated with a member of the Canadian Women's Foundation. And this is the organization that created the hand signals to indicate distress. And we featured her story because of the success story that recently happened, where an individual was abducted in a car and was showing this symbol for distress, which is taking your hand and covering your thumb. And a motorist noticed and called the police, and this person was rescued successfully. So actually, Jenna Mel had brought this to our attention, that this would be a great episode to feature. And I you hear it and you're like, that's a cool story, but how much of a episode are you going to get out of it? And Andrea came on and we were texting each other. We're like, is she running for office somewhere? Because I'm voting for her. She was amazing. It's not,
she speaks so well.
Yeah, it doesn't just end with like, hey, we're going to have hand signals to help people who are in distress. We're going to dig into the cause of why certain individuals are taken advantage of, and where that comes from, and how can we fix that, and how can we change the culture. And we get into all that. It's a great conversation.
Yeah.
I think that takes us to like August of next year.
Yeah, we got a lot of great episodes coming up. That one included. That's going to be a great conversation. And we'll have a little background on that story about the hand signal from and the girl who was saved from TikTok. Although I don't believe her name was put out there publicly. I think she was like 14 or something like that. So it's a wild story, but a very powerful thing, and one of the kind of things where you need to share, because it only works. The hand signal is only as good as however many people know about it. You can be waving the hand signal all you want, but if no one else knows what it means, it doesn't matter. So it's something that needs to be shared. So more on that coming in the next few weeks. And this has been a fun chat, Lance, hanging out, just doing a little test here, chilling.
Yeah. I think the success rate, I think we're at like maybe a 80% success rate right now.
We're doing pretty good, I would say.
Yeah.
We're flourishing fully on YouTube and Twitter with this test right now.
Twitter's still going strong.
We're at least talking and communicating via Instagram. It doesn't look great, but that's the part we're still working on. We're getting there. It actually looks more than great, to be honest.
It could be an easy fix that we're just not seeing right now.
I'm sure it is. But
you can get used to it pretty quickly, though. I'm used to it. I'm looking at it now. I'm used to it.
I kind of like it. Oh, thanks, Allie. Allie says, I love your podcast. I listen every night. Thanks a lot. We really appreciate that.
Yeah.
And Shelton says, any news regarding Brianna Maitland? Heartbreaking case. No, nothing to report at this point. Some sort of low-key searching and things like that have been happening. So there's always some current, below the surface in that case, but nothing to report at this point. Nothing that will change the case or anything at this moment.
Yeah, good to mention like low-key searches and things that go on behind the scenes. It is like that is the case. Like we do constantly seem to have something going on. Greg Overacker or Lou, they're always asking, do you want to take a camera up here? I'm going over here. Like I think I'm going to check out this thing in the woods. Can you come? There's always something like that happening. And it recently did happen, but like you said, nothing has come from that yet, but it's pretty soon, pretty early to tell.
Yeah. So check out Missing as well. Shelton says great podcast as Missing. Thank you very much. We've done a lot of coverage on the disappearance of Brianna Maitland. If you're not familiar with that, check it out on, actually, I think those episodes exist on both the Crawl Space and the Missing feeds, but Brianna Maitland was a 17-year-old girl when she went missing from the Dutchburn house in Montgomery, Vermont, March 18th, 2004. March 19th, 2004. in Montgomery, Vermont. Tragic case. We work with Bruce, her dad, on the nonprofit Private Investigations for the Missing. Check them out at investigationsforthemissing.org. And thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah. Have a great weekend, everybody. This has been wonderful. Remember, Tuesday, January 4th of next year, 9 p.m. EST. We're going to bring you some crime and some culture virtually live.
It's going to be great. You'll be able to catch us on Instagram, on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, and hopefully on TikTok. But that one is up to you.
That depends on you.
We need 1,000 followers. So follow us at Crawl Space Podcast on TikTok and really on all the social media platforms. We'd really appreciate it. Also, that's at Missing CSM on all the social platforms. Thanks a lot. I feel like
everybody. if we had 10 people who are contributing to this live feed, each person contact, what's the math on this? Contact 10 people?
Sure.
Each person contact 10 people. Yeah. And have them follow us on TikTok. And then we'll, in my head, that sounded better.
Mail a letter and to your neighbors. Okay. Thank you very much for listening, everybody.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more of these test shows soon. Thank you.
All right. See you later.
Yeah.